Hey everyone, it's Steven from Toastamac, and today we're going to be learning about autistic masking. This time it's going to be a little different though. Usually in these videos, I try to come up with solutions to problems. However, upon learning about this topic, I realized that this is not a simple problem to be solved. Therefore, this video will focus more on the experience itself to learn more about what autistic masking is and how it can affect people. Masking, in this particular case, means to hide away the parts of ourselves that would reveal our neurodiversity in order to better fit in with a more neurotypical environment. Whatever social environment you're in, be it either at an event, or work, or school, or maybe even at your own home, there is a list of certain norms and expectations to follow. When those expectations are not met, many would assume that something is wrong with the individual, labeling them as weird or different. And that's putting it mildly. This in turn can cause an individual to lose out on potential friendships and in some cases, potential job opportunities. To avoid this, some will choose to mask by means of suppressing certain habits like stimming, as well as mirroring certain behaviors or scripts from the neurotypical people around them. While this can be a useful tool to use sometimes, it is by no means foolproof. Autistic masking can be seen as a form of repression. Repression of your authenticity, repression of your self-soothing techniques, repression of your overall well-being. And for some who mask for too long, there could be some serious downsides. For starters, if you're using so much energy in keeping up a facade, by day's end, you'll most likely be drop-dead exhausted, not wanting to do anything else, and oftentimes with little to nothing to show for the effort. Additionally, the time you spend wearing a mask may not be time that you can use to build your own true identity, since you're spending time doing what other people would want rather than what you would want. People who mask can also experience moments of anxiety, melancholy, and depression, amongst other things. Now, what we have at this point is a basic description of what autistic masking is. And while there may be some possible solutions, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is not a simple problem to be solved. We are not looking at one single line of if and then. It's more complex than that, more intricate, much like a spider web, where the threads are going out in different directions, different patterns, different possibilities. And with that in mind, I knew that just looking at some research articles alone would only tell me so much, but it would not tell me the whole story. And thus, I came up with another idea. Over the past few weeks, along with researching articles, I've actually been asking some people from various Facebook groups I'm in to ask about what their experience with masking. And the results were rather interesting. One person describes masking as a useful tool to get through the day, while another one sees masking as a detriment to mental health. One person sees it as a way of adapting to different situations, and another person feels like masking makes them feel worthless or unlikable. Really? The only thing that all these statements had in common was that they basically had nothing in common, because masking is a different experience for each individual. But that's not all. Guess who else does masking? Yo. And, much like the people that responded to my Facebook post on this topic, my reason for masking is kinda different than the rest. You see, when I first came to Colorado, I wanted to talk to anybody and everybody about current trends, about what's going on in the media, and yes, even my YouTube channel. Unfortunately, I found that there were a lot of people that I was trying to talk to that didn't really care too much for conversations. Moreover, I found myself drop dead exhausted, depleted by the end of the day because I was trying to please everybody and at the end had very little to nothing to show for it. And this was before I started masking, mind you. Later on, I started to take a look at who was in my work environment on a daily basis, and then decided that, maybe I don't need everyone here in my life. Maybe I'm better off with these people over here, and not so much with those people over there. So, whereas some people would use masking in order to fit in with people, I actually use masking to keep the wrong people away. After all, you don't need the approval of every single person in the world, only those that see your value. I hope that this video shows about what autistic masking is and how complex and intricate it can be, that there is no one-size-fits-all solution. For me to say otherwise would be completely irresponsible. So, how about this? For those that know someone else that's masking, instead of trying to solve a problem, why not try to get to know them? Start up a conversation with them. Talk about a subject of their interest. Get to know them. But most of all, give them the time and the freedom of choice on whether or not they want to take off the mask on their own. That way, it's a more comfortable experience on if or when they want to take off the mask, even if it's for a moment, rather than making them feel like they're under interrogation. And as for those who are experiencing masking themselves, I would like to open up this comment section for a conversation. Feel free to share your experience on how masking is to you, be it either good or bad. Maybe you can compare notes with other people here. Maybe you can find an online friend. Who knows? But don't worry, I'll keep tabs on the comments section to make sure it doesn't get too toxic or out of hand. To make sure that this is a safe place. Okay? Okay. On that note, it's time to end the video. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you enjoy what you see, consider liking and subscribing to Toastamac and clicking the bell icon to stay up to date in our latest videos. Also, come back in a couple weeks when I will have a very special surprise for you before the year ends. Until the next video or live stream, see you later.